Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Godwin Edudzi Chamaklo is the general, is the leader of the NDC's legal team, is here. Also, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Forgive my voice. My voice is gone.
That this morning you were super high.
My voice is gone.
Legal Directorate.
My voice is gone.
The Legal Directorate, we want to thank you so much for the excellent work you are doing for Mother Ghana. You know, in ancient Greece, Socrates used to hold officialdom to account. He's the type that arguably you call a gadfly. Consistently, it gives the horse one or two stings to get its body back on track. This democracy is one that is creating despondency. And the danger is that if all voices of reason do not rise up and speak, we risk killing this democracy. And for some of us, we are extremely worried. I've always given the example of what happened in Sri Lanka. When the president...
The kitchen and dining hall example.
When the president thought that he could do whatever he could, you know, he thought that, he had manipulated every institution. And so, as for him, he is above anything. One morning, young men and women of Sri Lanka could no longer bear. You see, you are incompetent and manipulative at the same time. You at least make things better for the people and do whatever you want. And manipulate them. That one too, you can't do.
The thing is not happening.
The thing is not happening. Meanwhile, you are manipulating every governance institution. The people who hold you accountable, you are manipulating them. And so you have a situation where the president feels that he's actually Nana in the true sense of the word. A village chief.
Is our presidency supposed to be that?
That's not how it's supposed to be.
But why are we tended into that?
But so the fact that you are Nana, you must appreciate that this Nana is a democratic institution. Checks and balances, right? Look, this morning, hearing you, I could see the pain, the frustration. Step out here and ask people on the streets how they are making it and why they are still moving. Condemn.
Edudzi, people come to me every day asking for money.
If I show you my phone,
school fees,
the messages.
Look, hospital bills.
The last time when the secondary schools reopened, the prospectus that was given to parents, how to put it together was headache for many parents. People are going through hell. And the president who has occasioned this is out there boastfully telling us that I will install my vice president to take over from me. You can't do anything. And that is the last thing that he wants to do. You have the likes of Brana Champon talking recklessly. The other day, I had word for him. I said, in this country, Johnny, do you have a hotel? Mommy, do you have a hotel? He runs a hotel. If there is no peace in Ghana, who will go to Rock City? If there is no peace in Ghana, which tourists will go and do paragliding during Easter so they can use your facility? Sebio, I can for you say, Sebio, we are badrin bar and same you or yenka. People are not thinking. So they think they can gaslight us. And that is why, Johnny, I've always said, and I mean no word, even for the MPP to think that Bawumia is the person they will put out as flag bearer, it's a test of our national sanity. It's a test of our national sanity. Because it's like some people believe that Sebio Ghana for cry or Sebio. Because if you have respect for the ordinary Ghanaian, you won't even put Bawumia as a candidate.
But that's why.
Listen to me carefully.
Listen
to me carefully. This man, his boss told us that he read economics in the 60s.
Right.
But never made a career out of it. He went into law. And that he was going to rely on the superior understanding of Bawumia relative to the economy. Today, the Ghana cedi had moved from 3.84 Ghana cedis to 13.75. And you see, like Bawumia said in opposition, when in doubt, observe the exchange rate. It affects the cascading impact. Today, as we speak, how much are you buying a gallon of petrol today? Almost getting to 70 Ghana cedis.
It's serious.
Look, and look, listen to this analysis carefully. In 2016, right, the full gallon made up of 4.5 liters, the full gallon was selling for 14 cedis.
Wrong.
14 Ghana cedis.
John says you are wrong.
How much was it?
18.60.
Just use the mic for me. George Ayizi is the National Communications Director of NADMO. He's here on the ticket of the NPP. So it was 18 point what?
Yes, 6.
Okay, you even for the sake of argument.
Can you tell the microphone down so you can? So let's hear you.
Even for the sake of argument, that as at the 5th of January, a gallon of petrol was 18 Ghana cedis. Let's take that for the argument. Today it is 70 Ghana cedis. From 18 to 70. And listen to me carefully. The entire gallon was 18 Ghana cedis, comprising 4.5 liters. Miss Ampofo, today as we speak, just 1 liter, the beer bottle, that 1 liter is 14.75 Ghana cedis.
It went up twice this last week.
That's right.
14.75.
I nearly passed
almost the value for the entire gallon as at 2016.
Your point is?
The point is, government's inability to properly manage the exchange rates had impacted on the price of crude and the imposition of taxes and levies on petroleum products.
I see.
This was not your campaign promise. I recall vividly, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo on the campaign platform, and you usually use these account words. Ghana yaye mobo dodo. Ghana yaye mobo kura dodo. Na Ghana yo hiamai. Yetisika so eni ebre. Na amamuo boni nti eni ebre. Na John Mahama amamuo nti no ekom die. Those were his words. Sikana ani ete so no akoti say. And you see, Johnny, the painful part is that the people who had imposed this unprecedented hardship on the good people of this country, you'd expect a certain level of humility. You'd expect that they will demonstrate, in fact, they will appear before Ghanaians in sackcloth and ashes.
It's not Ash Wednesday yet. we are not in time.
But rather, they are arrogantly telling us that they have done better. How can you live under... Look, and Johnny...
Quickly, so I can bring Johnny.
Yes. Look, Johnny, these numbers remain undisputed. The Ghana Statistical Service conducted the Living Standards Survey and released their report February this year. It puts unemployment at 14.7%.
Quarter 3. Q3.
14.7%.
For last year.
Yes, Q3.
But that's not good.
Please, as at 20... You calm down. As at 2016, when they were talking about a better alternative, the unemployment rate was 8.4.
So what happened? You tell me. What do you know?
Mismanagement, corruption, and wastage.
No.
You see, and I'll give you a classic example. Mismanagement
I'll come to you, George.
and wastage. Look, the report shows that youth unemployment moved from 21% as at 2016 to 32% as at 2023. Youth unemployment. Today, if you run a business and you need money to run this business and you need to go to a bank, you are doing a lending rate of 40% averagely. How can you survive as a businessman? Treasury bill rates used to be 22%. Now we are doing 33 averagely.
It's come down to 28.
Look at this. When you had promised a better economy.
Okay.
And the most challenging part of it all,
Your final point.
You'd expect that our friends would acknowledge your usual word, their scorecard.
The scorecard.
But they will not. So today, as we speak, our economy is a bankrupt economy. Our economy is yet default economy.
That we have turned the corner.
Our economy is now a haircut economy. You remember the president when he lied to Ghanaians that there shall be no haircut. Those were his words. What happened? Today we are dealing with a debt-riddled economy, overtaxed economy, high inflationary economy, high monetary policy economy, high lending rate economy, high unemployment economy, extremely high youth unemployment economy, misery and economy. We have collapsed state-owned agencies. The cocoa sector has collapsed, and massive, uncontrolled corruption economy. So if you put all of this together, the person who has led the economy into the ditch is telling us that he is just a driver's mate. The 1992 Constitution never envisaged the vice president to be a driver's mate.
Okay.
The Constitution envisaged that the vice president will be a spare driver.
I hear you.
With the same competencies like the president.
I hear you.
And that is why in Ghana, if the president is removed, either by death, impeachment, you don't run election for the vice. He
you
takes
just
over.
Take over from him.
Exactly.
Thank you. Edudzi Tamaklo.
Ghana. It is Sikaso. Omenyo Hiamai. Nenam Amemua Enkoyetino. A come there. Yayamobo wa Ghana. It is Sikaso. Omenyo Hiamai. Nenam Amemua Enkoyetino. A come there.
3FM Sunrise.
Think about.
Despite assurances by President Akufo-Addo that there would be no haircut on investments, Deputy Minister for Finance John Kuma says that it's only true for local investments. He told 3 Business after the 2023 budget presentation that government has started engaging international creditors.
We are expecting to bring down government's obligation on our debt, borrowing and interest payments. And we strongly believe that the domestic investors in Ghana, as we have it today, His Excellency the President has already announced that there is not going to be any haircut on their principal, which we have stated. Of course, there will be external engagement that will do haircut for our bond holders. But the domestic one, we are not going to do haircut or touch their principal.
Continue these engagements with other groups. I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money.
George Ayizi is the Director of Communications at the NADMO. George, welcome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I see your protests, and when Edudzi was speaking, you disagreed.
Disagreeing with him.
We started on a note of the scholarships.
Yes.
Why are people giving scholarships to people who can pay their school fees?
Did he talk about scholarships?
Yes, when you stepped up.
Okay, yeah.
Why are you giving
your
scholarships?
Your sister station was interviewing me.
To people who can pay their school fees? Why?
Yeah, John Hughes, good morning to you. Good morning to my colleague, counsel, and dear sister. Good morning to our listeners and viewers. Yes, the scholarship, John Hughes. When was Sajifo in the 1960s established the scholarship secretariat for reasons? Which reason? One is to support brilliant but needy students, one. And two, to train people for specialized expertise. Okay? So then we're coming to build our economy. So we needed engineers, we needed architects and all those things. So it's a scheme put down to support those specialized skills, okay, home and abroad. Okay? At that time, we didn't have the structures home. So we needed to go abroad. So people... It's not completely true that scholarships are for needy people alone. No. Okay? We have the needy bonds, which can be over 70% or more, but we have specialized skills acquisition.
How do you convince me that Freddie Blaze's daughter cannot pay her school fees?
No, what was she going to train in? We need to look at that. Because I remember once, for instance, the University of Ghana, they say in the archaeology department and co, because there's the possibility of extension of the department, okay? Let's grant students scholarship to go and study free, government scholarship, so that it will attract people to the sector to go and study and come back to keep the faculty going. It's a decision by the university.
So you see no problem with it.
No. If it's being abused, Johnny Hughes, I wouldn't sit here and condone it.
No, Gift Yawari, NSS deputy director.
No,
she buys a team in the same year she gets a scholarship.
What did she study? Was it relevant to the area she's operating?
But you have money to buy a team. You can't pay your school fees.
Johnny Hughes.
Yes, sir.
I've been appointed director of communication for a disaster organization. Right. Okay. Automatically, I needed to acquire some skills in disaster communications.
So you don't become a disaster.
Yes, I agree with you. So that, I'll be able to relay with the media and the Ghanaian community on matters of disaster, so that effective communication can take place. If based on that, I'm asked to go elsewhere to do 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe North Dakota, maybe somewhere in the United Kingdom or wherever, to undergo training, okay? I didn't request for that, okay? It's by virtue of the fact that I occupy a certain position. And so government of Ghana felt I needed to go 1 week or 3 weeks or so to study and come back to support the organization. So if tomorrow we're not in office, and then you see George Ayizi having gone to North Dakota to study in disaster communication. You say, why will George do that? So we need to get the details of the matter. Is that the fact that is Freddie Blaze's daughter or son,
or Gift Yawari,
or let's look
Napo,
at it. Yes,
or
Napo went to Harvard. Was it in relation to Parliament's need for certain understanding of issues that will be debated? And as a result, they sponsored them to go,
George,
or they used their connections to get it.
George, did
they merit it?
Is this the best way to protect the public purse?
Oh, come on. Once we are acquiring skills, and I would rather, and this government is giving a lot of individuals who are within the poor but needy categories scholarships. A lot of them have gotten scholarship under this government. Scholarship Secretariat, Get Fund and Co. They're giving a lot of scholarships to people, okay? But if you take a case, I understand about 20 out of it. For the emotional reasons or whatever, I don't have a problem. We are in an election year. So if that is it,
you're a
no problem with
communicator.
that. Yes.
There's what they call news.
Yes.
And news.
News.
It has to be politically exposed, influential, high and mighty, rich, affluent, getting scholarship on the taxpayers' money.
Johnny, you know
when scholarship people out there in Hungary and the rest have not been giving their $250 and they are crying and they can't survive, How do you explain this?
No, this has happened from time to we have cases of Morocco scholarships, stipends not being sent. We've had cases of Hungary, as you are saying.
But you promise better.
Yes, no, I say we've been getting these challenges, okay? So it is a challenge and a problem that we need to rectify as a government and as a people. So we need to work on that and ensure. So I don't have a problem with the media, touching on those things.
Bottom line, my senior brother, George Ayizi, agrees that we must reform the scholarship secretariat.
Council.
So he has not consulted you to come and.
You see, what is engaged in
this pro bono advice is not needed.
What he's doing is what in communication you describe as sophistry.
Right. But this pro bono is not needed. He has not solicited for it.
He's engaged in sophistry. Let's take the point clear.
No.
See, if there was greater transparency, accountability within the scholarship area, this conversation would not have come up.
Yeah.
2, if the basis on which scholarships are awarded appears a bit merit-based,
it's merit-based,
then the conversation becomes cleaner. I tell you this, I recall vividly, in 2009, 2010, we had moved.
He's interjected.
Oh no,
we had come into. You're not being fair to him.
No, we had come.
You're not being fair to him.
We had come into the production. As for the two of us, we had come into the production of.
You are bullying the man and saying as for the two of you.
Crude oil, and because we had moved in, we realized that, for instance, we'll have issues with disputes involving oil and gas related matters. And what is the skill set of our judges for the purposes of adjudication? And so, a few of the judges then were made to go to Dundee, Scotland, and some universities. No, I'm coming there. I will just give you
for emotional effect.
You understand? They were made to go there to have specialized training in oil and gas related things. You know, there are people, when you say take or pay in an oil and gas contract, they won't understand. What does it mean? And so if there are disputes and you go before a judge, the judge should have the necessary skill set. I give you a classic example. You know, 2 companies now, Springfield and ENI.
Right.
They are in London going through an arbitration.
Right.
What was the basis? ENI says they have their field. So like the whole of this studio is ENI, right?
Field, yeah.
Field, okay. Then it extends a bit into the next room is Springfield.
Springfield, okay.
Okay. Now we know that oil and gas reservoirs suffer from what you say fugacity, in the sense that the oil doesn't stay at one place. It keeps moving.
It keeps moving, right?
It keeps moving.
Because it's fluid.
It's fluid. And because of the sedimentary rocks, it allows it to move. If it's ignorous rock, it becomes stable.
Like a well.
A well. Perfect. Now, these wells sometimes straddle. It commingles. And so, what you do is that you do what we call a unitization. So you can operate different fields as one unit. This is what has created a problem. It's in London. Part of it is in Ghana. You need a judge with that kind of training to appreciate. You cannot just use your normal contract law.
Right.
It comes with its own technical,
nuances
that you need to. If government of Ghana says, 10 judges, we are sponsoring you to go to, Dundee, to go and study this course.
And to bring the knowledge
back and come and impact as a judge. Because if we should say the judge alone should go and mobilize money and go and do this course, it will create a problem. So government does intervene.
So bottom line
is that what is
and
the
when that judge is a Yoni Kulendi, you will decide to skew it.
Is that, hold on, is that the kind of conversation we are having? No.
It is.
Okay.
The people whose name have come down,
yes,
right, are not persons that you can say that this special skill set is lacking. And that government needed to intervene by giving them this AB. My brother here, Mr. George Ayizi here, he speaks well, he communicates for the disaster management, he has the capacity to train himself, right? If he says
he doesn't agree.
If he says he's going to GIG and that he requires government to pay for his fees, people will say, Abba George, so cry the yes, and so. The other people who are GIG doing PR, they have not been given sponsorship by government of Ghana. So why you? Two.
Quickly, so George.
Question is that, George, are you needy but brilliant? Me, when I was growing up, my understanding of scholarship was it is given to needy but brilliant students.
You know, when I was a kid.
Me, that's what I knew.
When I was a kid, George.
Until I came to Accra and realized that scholarships are actually meant for rich kids.
George, when I was a kid.
It was in Accra that I got.
When I was a kid in secondary school, I got Cocoa scholarship, Cocoa Board scholarship.
Yes.
Then my dad asked me, "Are you needy?" I said no. He said, "I know you are brilliant, but are you needy?" I said no. He asked me 3 times. He says, "Go and tell them that you don't need a scholarship. They should give it to a cocoa farmer's son." I will never forget that lesson.
Yes, that's good.
And he drove me all the way to school, and he revoked that thing, and they gave it out to who I don't know.
Yeah.
Because my father says, it is a cocoa. He said, "Am I a cocoa farmer?"
Yeah, that's part of the reason I wholeheartedly support.
My father said, "Am I a cocoa farmer?" He said, "No."
Don't confuse the issue.
No. I'm coming to a point.
But George,
what he just said.
George,
let me tell you, as a teacher, mathematics teacher in advancement school, I was in a classroom one time, and then the finance department were sacking students. You know who students they were? Yeah, the best
with the bulky stomach.
And some teachers with cane following him. Then they said CMB, they were specifically on Cocoa Board scholarship beneficiaries because the scholarship had delayed. And then they asked these students to go out. I said, what? Wait a minute. I can bet my last bottom penny that some of them had never seen a Cocoa Pod before. They were on Cocoa Board scholarships. You get it? And they were children of bourgeoisies. Okay? So I look at this and say, come on. How? So these are some of the reasons. That's why our council, I was saying, I support the free SHS so that everybody will benefit and go on. So this scholarship matter, the 4th estate, they've come out with their finding. Let's all take time, interrogate it, because John Hughes, I may encounter some challenges. I have problems with 4th Estate's recent.
Why do you have a problem with that?
Not the scholarship one,
right.
The SML one.
But you are keeping the report. Why are you holding it?
No, I had problems.
Like Al Jazeera
good
for mafia thing. We wrote to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera said they gave you the report. You are holding it. And Kojo is going around media houses telling us how to do the job. When we started practicing,
Kojo is one of you.
When I started, he had not started practicing.
No problem.
You know the SML. No, the SML. No, but you see, you get it.
Alain, you come.
Johnny, I want to make this
be fair to him.
The man raised SML deal.
Yes.
For a purpose, and juxtapose that against the work of the 4th Estate. There's a reason why he's doing that.
Okay.
Why?
Don't worry.
Say that Akufo-Addo has taken the initiative to call for an investigation. I am worried. Where the investigative report by KPMG is given to the president and he's sitting on it. The reason is this, and I without any fear, I say this. We do know, as we speak, that KPMG had gotten many government contracts. They are investigating several of government-related, government-related jobs.
But when you were in power, you were giving it to
No, please, you need to get this
including
right.
data back.
You need to get it right. Why was the Auditor General not gotten involved? because it enjoys independence. Now, Ms. Ampofo, look at it this way. You consult for government of Ghana, many institutions at a fee. Would you have the courage, knowing that, like the accounts will say, onsa
Obekao.
Oh yeah, Obekao. Look.
So in fact, you are saying every work done, audit work done by KPMG is faulty. That's what you're saying. Because they want to continue to enjoy the benefit.
A different government institution, would you have the same posturing? Would you also say that this institution is not independent?
This argument
the Auditor General by the 1992
I think we should allow George Ayizi to make his point.
It's
only fair.
Fair.
My counsel.
You don't want it.
George, let me
Delete
ask
the
you.
report.
George, let me ask you. We have written from here on the Al Jazeera gold mafia thing.
Yeah.
Al Jazeera told us expressly, and I showed it here, that they have given the report to the presidency.
Okay.
Initially, when we put out the first response, we had people from government elements, and tell us that it's even fake. When it became necessary and confirmed that what we were saying were right, Kojo Bonkroma, then Minister for Information, went around other media houses, Empire and the rest, trying to teach us how to do, and he does that on a regular. He's trying to teach us the job. When we started the job, he was still not practicing.
You admit he organizes, he encourages the continuous training.
He said we're going to do 16 regions. He has only done 1. And that was even on the back of another one.
Yes.
But he has only done 1. He has not done the 15, like the e-levy thing. So I have that bone to pick with him.
Okay.
He went around preaching as if we don't know our left from our right as journalists, and failed to encourage the president to bring the response from Al Jazeera. As we speak, Alesta Matea's gold mafia, the report is still with the presidency.
Why is Al Jazeera not giving it to you?
Al Jazeera,
they put something.
Al Jazeera wrote, Al Jazeera told that we put their response there.
Yes.
Al Jazeera said, what your presidency is alleging is fake, it's false. I put it up here.
What is false?
It says, we have not done what your presidency is saying we have done, and that we dared them to sue us, as Bidieto wrote in that 2-page letter.
Okay.
They
So
have
how
kept.
come that you've not sued Al Jazeera?
They have no. They can't sue them. They can they sue them? They have kept that report.
Because the tone of the letter suggested
that in 14 days.
John Hughes.
I'm coming.
Media.
The tone of the letter says in 14 days.
Yes.
If you don't retract and apologize, we will sue you. More than 6 months have passed.
Yes.
Asante Bedieto with President Akufo-Addo, everybody, Fremont Pari, everybody, they have not been able to sue Al Jazeera. And they have kept the report from Ghanaians.
Which report? Do you know what conversation is going on?
Show us
why
the letter.
has Al Jazeera done something and is also refusing to put it in the public?
I'm saying Al Jazeera report. They put out the report, and they say that what we have given.
Disagreed with.
They say what we have given you. Is what we have given them.
Okay.
Put what you have from Al Jazeera in the public domain, pretty much the same way he wrote.
But Al Jazeera has put this out already.
I don't work for Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera doesn't take my taxes. Nanado don't work for take my taxes.
Let's
to put a chair in a V8.
Let's come to them. SML, I have my reservation, unless, of course, council is saying.
I'm saying that there is a trajectory of you receiving reports and refusing to put it out in the public domain.
No, for I have been on your show and I've admitted that the Australian saga, the report should have been made public.
If Professor Jampo hadn't written to say that, put it out because it's now becoming too much for you, would the presidency, on behalf of the president by Eugene, have written to say that?
At least they have the report.
What are you talking to me about? Because Al Jazeera told us they wanted an extension, and it was granted. Now the report has been brought to you. So in the minds of the Ghanaian people, there's an extension.
No, definitely.
But the report has been brought to you.
They'll put it out.
And Akufo-Addo was keeping it under his armpit.
Let them. And KPMG, is the report out or is not out?
They can't put it out.
Why can't they put it out?
That's contractual.
That's contractual.
And that is why I would have preferred.
Unless, of course,
you see, I told you why. No, I told you why it should have been the Auditor General. Because if it was done by the Auditor General, it is public in nature.
Because
and if it's done by the Auditor General, it is easier for you to do right of information.
Johnny, I think
but this
I'm
one
not
is
being
done
allowed
by
to
a
make
private
Council, allow him.
Yes, Council.
George.
Yes.
He has given up. The man has given up.
George, the question I ask you
the
now
weather is not good for you.
Yes, no. I'm okay.
Maybe we'll move away from this one.
Yes.
The CD is on a free fall. And it is affecting everything.
But
including fuel, electricity, LPG,
free fall,
cost. George.
I mean, John, to put into context, since the start of the year, the CD has depreciated by some 10%.
Yes.
That's massive.
And he disagrees that it's on a free fall.
Massive, George.
How can you about 9.7, so 10%.
10%.
Yes,
how can you plan?
Yes. No.
That's scary.
We've had a case where
what is happening?
30% and then you stem the tide.
And
you get it.
You promise
let's
change.
Get it.
So
yes,
what is happening?
We promise change. Things happen. The exogenous factors that hit us is something that you cannot discount in the equation. Okay? Council knows. I have done some small rate arithmetic here to see. When they took over in 2009, the exchange rate was 1.2 to the dollar. By the time they exited on the 6th of January 2017, okay, the exchange rate was 4 cedis 20 pesos to 4.2. And so if you do it, it means the CD cumulatively depreciated by about 250%. Okay? As we speak, from 4.2% to 13.5. I'm using the open market rate. I'm not using the Bank of Ghana rate.
You are using Abochi rate.
Yes.
I'm the not same Abochi that you went to arrest at Tudu.
Yes.
And made news out of them. And they were the ones crashing the economy. You are using the Abochi rate.
We are still chasing them. No, if I use the Bank of Ghana rate, I was with Council on another, your sister station, and, I used that. We generally agreed.
It's our mother station, actually. TV
sorry,
station.
your mother station. Myself and Council agreed that if we use that
you and who
problematic. That's not you Council. You got it. So 12.9 hours of fee.
You mean
that's the
when
Bank of Ghana
you
rate.
mean when Miss Ampofo wants to buy dollar to do a transaction, she go to Bank of
The
Ghana.
pound is pound, though. The pound is
That's why I'm
scary.
using the 13.5.
Hey, George.
Don't worry. The Bank of Ghana as of Friday is 12.9.
You see,
No, we
no
have
Ghanaian
interbank.
goes for
You
the
see,
bill
it is the
to
bank.
buy
Do
dollars.
you feel
or
comfortable?
pounds.
Do you feel comfortable talking about these issues?
Why
Even
not?
Bawumia has run
We
away.
need to look at it. And as I'm saying, look, the facts do not support that. It's 1.4% cumulative depreciation. You see, if we determine by rate and then you juxtapose that to the size of the economy and go, that's why I disagreed with you when you were quoting
Quick
figures
question
in
for George,
abeyance.
please.
When you were quoting figures
George,
in abeyance.
quick question for you, please.
Yes.
Have we started
Yes.
paying back our debts?
No.
I know we put a pause on that.
No.
Yes, we did put a pause on that.
When,
I
do we,
admitted that
when we
on
start
another
paying back our
station.
debts, what is it going to look like?
No, by that time, the factors that will be existing may be completely different. That's why Dr. Bawumia said that when he takes over as president in 2025, he's going to stop A, B, C, D. Because the exigencies of the moment wouldn't be what will be pertaining as of the time.
In the meantime, what is he doing? Now he has power as vice president, head of the economic management team. What is he doing?
Look, there are certain taxes that were put in place to,
that he didn't
generate
agree
revenue
with.
and then to,
that he didn't agree with.
assuage the difficult
That he didn't agree
situation.
with.
No, I'm not saying agree.
Yeah.
For instance, the COVID tax, what is the purpose? Okay?
But he's the head of the economic management
The
team.
exigencies of the time. And so when he takes over, this same government scrapped and reduced over 17 taxes that were imposed.
To our
by
detriment, George. I don't think that was the right idea doing that.
And added some more.
Yes.
No, so
Continue.
what it means is that if we had not taken those out,
You
were
took
going to add them
17
to
and
that.
brought 40 taxes.
No.
And you say we should clap for you.
No. So what it means is that if we are not taking those 17, we were going to be happy.
But you have brought 40 more taxes.
Hypothetically,
40 more.
Let's even assume it's 40. Hypothetically,
we are not assuming.
We are going to have
know.
57. And do you know the compounding effect on that? So we need to look at that in perspective.
How do you take
the performance cumulate? I'll be happy. Growth of agriculture was about 2.9 when we took over. Okay, it's moved to about 6%. Planting for food and
what
jobs
is the
and coal.
impact?
So these are things that tells you
higher food prices.
You get it? No.
After planting for food and jobs, the result, the scorecard,
sectors.
The scorecard is higher food prices.
Okay, so these are issues that we need to objectively look at.
George,
these are matters that we need to look at.
30 seconds.
I'm coming.
It's not a propaganda angle.
George, listen to this man.
Yes.
Listen to this man.
Yes.
And the proximate cause of the recent depreciation is the time inconsistency of an IMF prior action on the reserves target. At the end of January, as part of the 7 prior actions to get to the IMF board and the completion of the IMF program, the IMF gave Ghana 7 actions to complete before March 15. 7 prior actions that we had to meet. 7 conditions. One of the conditions that the Bank of Ghana had to meet was to increase its net international reserves to the level of December 2018. To increase the net international reserves, however, meant that the Bank of Ghana could not sell any foreign exchange in the market. They had to essentially hold their hands to the back and could not intervene on the market.
George,
Recent.
how do you, it's recent, how do you compare Dr. Bawumia in opposition to him being with power?
Yeah.
And now he sounds more like the opposition leader.
Oh, no.
Because he says, oh, when I come, I'll do different from what Akufo-Addo has done.
Oh, no.
When I come, I will change this, I will change that. And he's part of the government. He even said that I will bring a new idea from what is being practiced.
Yes.
How should Ghanaians trust the man you support?
The president also said it, so the buck stops with him, which is factual, okay? Former American president says, as a Hoover or whoever, he says, the buck stops here. That's the truth.
Did Dr. Bawumia know that when he was accusing John Mahama and Atta Mills together?
Misata, the questions...
No, we don't have a problem. You say, Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. We don't have.
He asked a question, 170 questions of the late Misata.
Yes.
Can he answer those questions today?
No. Have they posed any question?
No.
They should do proper research. And
Misata didn't answer those questions. He died.
He didn't.
Can he answer those questions?
He didn't answer them. So you can pose it to him when you interview
the examiner. I should ask the examiner his questions.
Yes. Why? Because of the exigencies of the movement.
When is he going to have another lecture like the Central University Professor Yanka?
No, in opposition, you look at the things and then you profile the solutions as you see from that angle. In government, you do same, and I'm excited that even in government, he gives lectures when things becomes a bit difficult for the Ghanaian and our people take advantage to pollute the environment. He comes to set the record straight, which is good. So far, nobody from your sect has been able to give any economic lecture. Nobody from your sect is giving anything.
When was the last lecture?
But the 7th this day was the presentation of a vision and others.
7 what?
So how is that a lecture?
No, so he comes to explain the thing. So don't worry. Nobody stops you. Who stops you from giving a lecture? Who stops you from giving a lecture?
No, that's not the issue.
You don't have any economists there to be able
by
to
your own principle.
Take it.
You
Yes.
said, when in doubt, observe the
Dr. Bawumia gave lectures and told us what he would do.
Yes.
He has come to power. We have not seen the things. He said he wants to break the 8. And he has not given any lecture. He said NDC should go and do a lecture.
If you have a problem with the government, he had problems with the government. One of his lectures,
he
brought up the computation of inflation. The inflation basket was inappropriate. Okay, IMF, World Bank came to support, and it was restructured. Okay, so these are the issues. These are the things they should also be doing.
My phone lines are BP. I'm sure if I activate the phone line.
Don't worry about that. Government,
but Johnny,
Dr. Bawumia has his own vision. He has put part here. So let's get to read them. He says there are some things that
can he be trusted?
Yes, I trust him absolutely.
I trust a man who is not responsible for his actions.
No,
how can
why
you
is he not
him?
responsible? The president came in and said, yes, it's true. He's the head of economic management.
Man you went
Nobody
into
has
a room
dissolved
with.
it.
You did your own thing. There's pregnancy. He said it wasn't
No,
me.
exogenous factors came in. Johnny, my last
he said it wasn't me.
Listen,
then he said
they are part. And then part of the reason is that this government, I have said it many times, we took on a lot of expenditure policy items, more than necessary. For instance, you bring free SHS at the same time, one district, one factory, at the same time, one village, one dam. You see, these are all, and then restore necessary allowance. When His Excellency there just cut all of them.
Have you heard Kweku Kwatin?
Kweku, yes.
Kwatin.
No, I've not. On what?
He said the problem we find ourselves in is based on incompetence, and that we're going to get here anyway without COVID, Russia, Ukraine. It was going to take some time.
I've not heard that.
Johnny,
I don't know if you are quoting him right now.
No. Johnny, you don't have enough time.
I'm not doubting you. Okay.
Let me ask him a simple question.
Him say
Johnny, can I ask him a simple question?
On
this issue. As we speak, ask him. By 2019, government of Ghana has set up a 40-member committee to help arrest the depreciation of the city.
Infanspim says Jin Shekan. Infanspim says Jin Shekan.
That be Tobo.
Please.
In fact, the government didn't see Bawumia worthy to be a member, even as the chair.
No, how can he setting up a committee be a member of the committee?
He never said it out. Now, guess what? As at 2019, was there COVID? Was there Russia, Ukraine? No such thing. But even as at that time, you considered it necessary to put up a committee to stop the depreciation of the city.
We want to be smart.
It means that the economy started. You started destroying the economy.
That's a serious government.
But you see, do you know the bigger problem?
No,
Johnny. 30 seconds.
Because
the bigger
we operate within a global structure.
30 seconds.
George has to go to a new
Yes, 30 seconds.
Yes.
In 2020, this government did a budget deficit of 15%.
Contrary to the 5% that they
even put in their own fiscal responsibility. No, hold on. Fiscal responsibility.
My producer will beat you. Please go.
Do you know that they were not able to keep to their statutory commitment of 5% under the fiscal responsibility?
That's the reason.
They ended up doing 15%, all because of election 2020.
No.
Okay, thank you, George.
All because
of PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.